Now we're going to take you to eastern Ukraine, where following a shaky start, a fragile ceasefire between government and rebel forces appears to be holding. But in the west, the question over whether to arm the Ukrainian government refuses to go away. Today, the chairman of Poland's National Security Office said it would be in the interest of Europe, of Poland and of Ukraine to strengthen Ukraine's army and to supply it with weapons. Well, joining me now from Westminster in central London is the Ukrainian Agriculture Minister, Oleksiy Pavlenko. And welcome to World News Today. Could you talk to us about why Kiev needs weapons from the West?
Because we fight for European values, and today we fight in Ukraine, but tomorrow you never know where to be the fight. Here at this moment, so many people died, 1 million of people in Donetsk, Lugansk, they're as hostages taken by Russian terrorists, and it's also very expensive economically, physically, morally, but we fight for European values.
How can it help Europe, though, if European nations move closer towards military conflict with Russia?
First of all, we thank you a lot for political support and to put high pressure for Russian terrorists and to Mr. Putin to follow Minsk agreements. And with that, with strong your support, I think we can actually make situation peaceful and stable and allow, let's say, for Ukraine to stabilize economic and financial situation together with IMF financing, and then to keep situation stable and peaceful.
Mr. Pavlenko, when you talk about the Ukrainian economy, of course, in the east, you have a good deal of arable land, good land that you're being cut off from, and heavy industry, the coal mines we've been talking about, for example. So it's really hurting your economy, isn't it?
Absolutely. We estimate that we lost up to 20% of our economy in Donetsk, Lugansk and occupied Crimea. In terms of agri-land and, for example, of harvest and yield, we lost around 1.5 million tons of grain there, and several big enterprises, they also lost their investments, also foreign investments. Can give example of Cargill company. They lost one of the oil processing factory in the Donetsk region. And yeah, we suffer with that, but if you see overall, for example, Ukraine agribusiness, we had record figures of 63.8 million tons of grain, despite of the loss of 1.5 million. And we hope that we can continue result for this year, and we still control the major ports, which are, let's say, export ports, Odessa, Nikolaev, Yuzhny, and half of the production we now export, and Ukraine is number 4 in terms of grain production. Grain export, corn export, number 1 for sunflower seeds export. We continue to be a world food basket, and we feed the world as well.
But as you are the world's food basket, you still need help, don't you, from outside? The IMF, for example, offering a lot of financial aid, but it means that your people are having to swallow some bitter medicine in terms of economic reforms.
Yeah, it's quite challenging at tough times. In order to receive financing from IMF, we have to follow quite strict regulations and requirements in terms of deregulations, reforms, of also fighting with corruption, which we do now actually a lot, showing the transparency, involving international experts, international auditors, big 4 companies, for example, state enterprises, and also quite tough and challenging pension, social reforms as well, with increasing the tariffs for electricity and gas. But doing that, we do understand that we're coming closer and closer to Europe, and we need this financing now to stabilize our monetary and financial system, to receive financing for National Bank of Ukraine, to make stable currency exchange rate, and with that financing to attract financing and investors to Ukraine. Because Ukraine, for example, for agribusiness, we together with Argentina have one of the best black soil in the worldwide. We have one of the best climate to grow.
Mr. Pavlenko, I'm going to have to stop you there, although thank you so much for joining us today from Westminster, the Ukrainian Agriculture Minister there.